The new Black Wall Street. Do it right, build wealth, live life, economic empowerment, real tips, insight on the new Black Wall Street. It's on the new Black Wall Street. He's your host.
Oh my goodness. All right, my beautiful people, this is ERGJ, your certified financial educator here with New Black Wall Street. News that you can use, man, as we recap the day that not only happened in the market, but what can you say? Trump, his box office, man, the kind of thing that makes you want to smile and cry at the same dang time. What we're going to be talking about today, man, is what has happened today, man. A lot of movement has occurred. Trump has signed a lot of executive orders, which quite honestly should give us some tips as to where we want to invest our money. So we're going to dive right into it. It's so much news. It's so hard to keep up sometimes, but I'm going to do my best, guys, give you guys a recap. First, let's take a look at what happened in the market today. I think that's kind of where we can start, and then we'll start looking at what Trump has done. Okay. U.S. home sales drop as supply tumbles to a 17-year low. So your sales have dropped for U.S. home sales. The Wells Fargo is going to stop giving branches advance notice of inspections. Toyota today has some news. They actually are bringing 400 jobs to Indiana, their Indiana plant. So 400 jobs are coming to Indiana from Toyota. What else is happening as far as this news is concerned? Whew, so much has happened. DuPont expects the Dow merger. They have a DuPont and the Dow merger taking place. They're expecting that to close later than expected. Aetna and Humana, which are healthcare, they're considering all their options that the court has blocked their merger. Woo! Let's go. So much to talk about today, but let's get right into. I also saw that GoPro actually did a great job in their earnings, so they bumped up about 8% today. So those that are invested in GoPro are feeling pretty good. Now, Canada, let's get right into the stuff that kind of really matters today. Canada says that the TPP deal, which is the Trans-Pacific Partnership that Trump has, did an executive order to withdraw from, said that the deal will be there without the United States. This morning, take a look at some of the highlights from Trump today because it's just so much. Oh, my goodness. All right. So January 24, President Donald Trump met with the auto executives on Tuesday morning and gave the energy industry a boost with actions on the pipeline. So here's the information that you need to know as it relates to what the movement of Trump today. So the pipelines. Trump signs executive orders to move forward with construction of Keystone XL and the Dakota Access Oil pipelines, rolling back key Obama administration environmental actions in favor of expanding energy infrastructure. So what does it really mean for you or for us as investors? All right. So number one, two key things here. Obviously, he's moving forward with the Keystone pipeline. So number one, you got to start looking at construction. Who's going to manufacture these pipelines? That's going to be money that's going into them. Should be a boost in their stock prices. Energy that's trying to expand energy infrastructure. So energy has been trading at like really, really low during the Obama administration. So we could see a return of the energy sector. Not particularly coal, but energy. Oil. I continue to tell you guys and talk to you guys about oil. That's going to be another place that we're going to see a boost because obviously these are oil pipelines. And so what Trump is saying is that we're going to build our own pipelines and we're going to build them here in America. So, so those are areas that should see a boost. And I'm not talking about, I understand, we don't want that oil in that land and the Native Americans. But this is what's going on. So when it comes to investing, you decide where you want to invest. If you feel like it's morally, wrong for you to invest in those areas, then don't invest in those areas. There's plenty of places for you to invest. I'm just breaking down the news to give you guys some clues because this is news that you can use. Renewable energy. Jonathan said, what about renewable energy? That is, I believe that renewable energy is a growth area. I don't know if necessarily the Trump administration is focusing on that as much as Obama was, because you got to think about these administrations, man. Republicans, they're called the GOP or the grand old party for a reason. They are old thinkers. They think like the way that things used to be or the way that things are going to stay. So however we were manufacturing back when the Trump administration was, 10 years old or 15 years old, They think that we should go back to manufacturing that way. The Democrats with Obama, he was all about forward thinking, technology, trying to do solar energy, all these things to keep up with, with the world. So again, that's why I continue to tell you guys that Obama is no longer running the house. Here's the deal. When you go play spades, you go over your friend's house and you want to play spades, you know how you play spades. You know how you play Monopoly. You know how you play Uno. But when you go over there, you got to abide by house rules. And so right now, the house that rules this land, this White House, is ruled by Republicans. So you can no longer think like a Democrat. You can't think like Obama and hope that your money is just going to magically do things. It's time to make some adjustments for what's going on right now. So whether you like them or not, Trump is making moves. He's making things happen. He's doing what he says he was going to do, and he's doing it really swiftly. I can't even keep up. So as far as should you invest in renewable energy, I don't give investment advice that way. We can talk about renewable energy. That can be something that we can discuss on our investment sessions. But should you invest? I'm not the person to tell you where you should invest your money. I'm just gonna break down the news. Appreciate the question, though, brother. I appreciate it. Continue to watch. All right, auto industry. The Trump meets with the chief executives of the big three U.S. automakers: General Motors, Ford, and Fiat. And he's urging them to build more cars in the United States. So again, this is another place that if they abide by, if they ain't cool with Trump, then more than likely you're gonna start to see some increase for these companies if they are building their cars in the United States. So I know some people that got some Ford stocks and maybe some General Motors stock. You probably work for General Motors. Hey, make sure you take advantage of those stock options. Manufacturing regulation, man. So here's some things that's gonna piss you off. Trump signs an executive order directing that the permitting process of regulatory burden for domestic manufacturers should be streamlined to reduce what he called an incredibly cumbersome, long, horrible system. The EPA, or the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Agriculture Department will hold off some rules as part of a freeze on regulations imposed by the Trump administration and trade groups. So there is a freeze going on with the EPA, which is the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Agriculture Department. Another thing with agriculture, this pipeline, the TPP agreement, they're saying it is not going to be good for agriculture. So agriculture has already been struggling, and agriculture, the farmers get a lot of their export a lot of what they need to produce foods here in the States from overseas. So for all you people that are looking at investing in agriculture, I'm of the belief that we're going to see agriculture go down, which means that if you wanted to make money on it, you probably need to look at shorting or looking at some type of short or down position if you want to make money on the way down. Now, I told you it's a lot. It's a lot today, boy. It's been a barn burner. It's been a barn burner. I can tell you that. All right. So how will these? I'm sorry. Hey, what's going on, Adria? How will these cuts affect Black Americans? Which cuts are you talking about? Which cuts are you talking about? Are you talking about the mortgage cuts that happen? Please, can you be more specific with your question so I know which cuts that you are referring to? Now, all right. So also with these, I lost my page here. So in AP News, if you guys follow AP News, they follow everything that Trump, everything that goes on in the White House. So AP News reports that the Agriculture Department Research Agency has banned the release of news releases, photos, and other material to the public. So not only is there a freeze, but there's a ban on them releasing information to the public. And I'm saying to myself, how is that good? So in a memo to employees at the USDA Agriculture Research Service, the memo said that they would immediately cease releasing any public-facing documents. This includes, but is not limited to, news releases, photos, fact sheets, news feeds, and social media content. Read the email memo obtained by the Associated Press. So I don't know who may be following, the Agriculture Department, obviously farmers and things like that, and the agriculture research, but there's a freeze on communication from them to the public. That can't be good. What's going on? What are we hiding here? No transparency from as it relates right now. Supreme Court, Trump poised to restore the Supreme Court's conservative majority, says he will announce his choice next week with 3 federal appeals court judges among those under close consideration. So he's got to choose someone to fill the vacancy in the Supreme Court. FBI, and here's something that's interesting. Trump intends to retain FBI Director James Comey amid reports that law enforcement intelligence agencies are scrutinizing Trump's associates over their ties to Russia. So if you know James Comey, he's the one that seems to have fumbled the whole Hillary Clinton email scandal, and him and Trump were, supposedly having this rift, but it looks like he's going to retain him as a director. So that tells me right there he ain't got no rift. They buddy. And again, I continue to tell you guys that these people are best friends. They work together. Democrats and Republicans, they are of the same house. I know they may seem like they divided to us, the peons, but they work together. Don't believe the hype. Don't be fooled. Let's try to do what we can to put ourselves in a position that we will no longer have to be ruled by these tyrants. This is what's going on, man. Our government is working against us, not for us, whether you believe it or not. But anyway, let me get back to being my financial guy, because, I'll get off on a tangent here. Yeah, so the cabinet, Senate committees approved Trump's choices for United Nations ambassador and heads of the Commerce, Housing, and Transportation departments. Representative Tom Price, Trump's nominee for Health Services, tells a Senate panel he wants to ensure people here's a good thing. He wants to ensure people with pre-existing conditions have access to insurance and does not support Medicare privatization. So Tom Price is saying that, with the whole, I think that was the biggest issue with Obamacare, with them repealing it, that people with pre-existing conditions wouldn't have access. He's saying they'll have access. Yes, we don't know how much that access is going to cost. We don't know, but he's saying his words are he wants to ensure that people with pre-existing conditions have access. So that's a good thing, I think. Obviously, Mexico could. Here's something that's vital. Mexico could pull out of the North American Free Trade Agreement or the NAFTA if a renegotiation on terms does not benefit the country, says its economic minister. Now, here's the deal. I don't believe that this negotiation is going to favor them at all, because Trump, clearly, he wants to build a wall against Mexico immigration. He wants to put a border tax against Mexico. So how in the world is some renegotiation of the NAFTA, which is the free trade agreement between the United States, Mexico, and Canada, is going to be beneficial to Mexico? Now, that doesn't mean that, I don't know, that United States and Canada doesn't work something out, but it looks like, that's not going to be a good thing. Now, here's what happens. I know you guys are like, well, how does that affect me? How does that impact me? Here's what happens. I want you to look at anything that you own right now. Just look at the back. It's a little tag, and it tells you where it was made. You know what I'm saying? If it was made in Mexico, and a free trade agreement is expelled or expelled, then that means that anything that's made in Mexico that comes over to the United States is going to cost more. It's going to cost you and I more. It's a big impact on the poor. It's a tax on the poor. And now here's how they camouflage it. Well, we're going to tax Mexico. Mexico's going to pay this 35% border tax in order for them to do business in the United States. And that's going to be like, oh, you're going to think, well, hey, that just means that the companies make less money. No, what that means is that when they sell something to you or I, that we got to pay the 35% or 35%. You see what I'm saying? Now, also what that does is it tries to encourage us, who are the biggest consumers in the world. Just to keep it real, United States citizens are the biggest consumers in the world. And, African Americans happen to have a $1.1 trillion buying power. So we pretty much are a nation ourselves just in spending. That's going to go to us. And they're going to say, well, hey, instead of us supporting Mexico with our dollars, and you don't want to pay that 35% tax if that's what it's going to be, or that tariff, and you don't want that tax extended onto you, well, you need to find whatever it is that you're looking for, whatever's dope to put on your body. You need to find it from a United States, a U.S. company. Now, here's how you can really play it. You can say, well, hey, all right, that Mexico thing went down, and that tax is coming down, and you know what? That just means that I'm not buying this jacket from Jordan and Nike, because, you know what I'm saying, I don't really want to support Nike. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm still going to get me a jacket, but I'm going to get my jacket from my good brother down the street. You know what I'm saying? My African store, my good brother down the street that's got a nice jacket as well, but I don't have all that tax. And guess what? I get to support my brother and sister, and we get to build this economy with this $1.1 trillion. But see, y'all got to be smart. You got to think. How are you going to use your money to continue to build? You know what I'm saying? How are you going to use your money to continue to build? Now, of course, what I'm talking about is, hey, if we're going to invest, well, that means that Mexico, as we already seen with the Mexican peso, which is their currency, is going down. So, hey, if you like, hey, you know, if you are into trading currencies, well, you know where that's going. And you know what I'm saying? You'll know what other things are going. So these are ways that you can play this money game. And we have got to get our financial understanding up, because at the end of the day, if you don't, then that just means that we're going to continue to make these big corporations more profitable, bigger. And we already know that we hate the banks, but we're going to continue to support them and make them bigger. Listen, Donald Trump and this administration, they do not run this country. Who runs this country are corporations and banks. This is what you got to understand. And how they run it, how they run it, and how they control this country is with your wallet. When you owe these banks and when you buying these products from these corporations, they get all of the leverage, which is money, to give to lobbyists and to get their agenda pushed forward through the politicians. This is why we got to understand politics and economics. That's just what it is. So, yeah, I'm sorry if I'm preaching, you know what I'm saying? They call me the finance preacher because I'm trying, you know what I'm saying? I figure if I spread the word out enough, it's going to fall on some good ears eventually. So that's what's going on. So we just got to learn how to play the game, man. It's the system that we in. We learn how to play the game. Here's the deal, guys. At the end of the day, I want you to think about this like it's a basketball game, right? What's got to happen first? First, you got to learn how to play basketball. You got to learn the rules. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn, you know, a 2-pointer, 3-pointer layup and all that stuff. Then you got to practice. You got to practice within the rules so you can get good at the rules. Then you got to go play the game. But here's what I learned about black people in particular. Whatever game that we decide that we're going to learn, that we're going to play, we begin to dominate. You know what I'm saying? We start dominating baseball. We start dominating football. We start dominating basketball. And all I'm saying is we can use the same method to dominate economics. We can use the same method to dominate politics. We can use the same method to take the White House and turn it into the Black House. I'm all about it. Let's get it. All right, anyway, Trump's approach to international trade issues suggests an inclination for bilateral deals that risk backlash from nations that are left out. The European Central Bank's chief economist says, again, this is all about international trade. And then FedEx Corp chief executive officer says Trump should reconsider his position on international trade and work to embrace China and its vast market. Now that's interesting because the TPP, which he just withdrew from, it didn't include China. And so now I am of the belief, and you guys tell me what you guys think, but I'm of the belief that Trump or the United States now is working with 4 countries, or 3 countries: United States, China. I'm sorry, 4 countries: United States, Canada, China, Russia, and Great Britain. Those are my thoughts. You guys share your thoughts, because I think that there's something going on, one, at the World Economic Forum, which took place last week, and number 2, with the United Nations. And these seem to be the biggest powerhouses that move the global economy. Now, there was a reason that, I guess, during the Obama administration, when they signed the TPP, that China was not a part of that TPP, nor was Russia. Russia obviously is in a different region. But it's just funny to me that we can have an agreement with Japan, China. And China is like, hey, they didn't want to get into the agreement because it was unfair to them. So I'm of the mindset something is going on between United States, Canada is just, you know, that's our sister, but United States, China, Russia, and then Great Britain. Great Britain is leaving the Eurozone. And now they're talking about, you know, they're leaving the EU, you know what I'm saying? But they got to form some partnership somewhere else. And I just got, there was an article talking about Great Britain and United States. Now, of course, Great Britain, our history tells us that's a place that we, quote unquote, fought for our independence to leave under the rule of Great Britain. And it looks to me that there is some link that's trying to make that connection again. You guys, hey, it may not happen, but that's what I'm seeing with my, you know, intuition. What do you guys think? All right. Whew. I told you there's a lot going on today. You know, you can't make this stuff up. All All right, so I talked about the ban or the lack of public-facing documents from the EPA. So that is a ban that they're not going to be able to release anything to the public. They can't get on social media. You know, something, you know, there must be something going on, and it's probably because of this pipeline deal. I believe this pipeline deal is going to have a bad impact on agriculture. It's going to have a bad impact because they're talking about pipelines, oil going underground. What if something bursts? You know what I'm saying? You imagine you ever had a house where your water pipe bursts? Man, just think about if an oil pipe bursts. You know what I'm saying? So it can't be. It's not good for the land. We know that, but it's not about, for them, they don't care about the land. What they care about is money, greed. It's corporate greed. That's exactly what it is. So again, for that pipeline, construction, manufacturing, oil, and what else did I say? I forgot. You know, I hope y'all get a replay. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get through this. All right, another thing is the Trump administration. Now, for those that I guess are getting government contracts, this is kind of important. He has instituted a media blackout at the EPA, and he's also barred staff from awarding any new contracts or grants. So the EPA is barred at this time from awarding any new contracts or grants. Now, it says Trump administration has also ordered a temporary suspension on all new business activities at the department, which including issuing task orders or work assignments to EPA contractors. The orders are expected to have a significant and immediate impact on EPA activities nationwide. It's supposed to have a significant and immediate impact. So if you guys, know some people that are EPA contracts, man, hey, reach out to them and get some information, man. What's really going on here? I'm not, I'm not savvy as far as that's concerned, but that cannot be a good thing. You basically you're supposed to be bringing new jobs, but now you're stopping people from working because no new work is coming in. That's affecting somebody's household. That's affecting somebody's, being able to eat if they can't get no more work. Just imagine you working for a staff agency and they call you and be like, hey, we ain't got no new, the administrator just said we can't issue no more work, no more new work. You like, well, my contract in like 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Like, this can't be good, man. I don't know what's going on. So what's up, Bron? See, I already talked about oil, man. I've been preaching oil for the past 2 weeks. You know what I mean? I can't tell you, I'm not going to tell you where to invest or what to do with your money, but I'm just saying, for me, oil is looking good. However you interpret that, hey, so be it. But guess what? We just had an oil investment session last week. How many of you guys showed up for that? So you could have got all that information by joining the investment session. There's certain things I just can't talk about publicly on the air. But hey, if you join the session, we have a conversation amongst brothers and sisters. We can start to break this thing down. This is why you got to come to the investment sessions. A lot of you guys ask, where should I invest? This is why you got to show up, because that's where the conversations happen. Just like Trump, he be having conversations with his cabinet. He be talking to them like, what we going to do? And don't nobody know. That's where we be having our conversation with our cabinet. So if you want to join the cabinet, hey, www.ergj.net, you got to sign up for an investment session. That's where you're going to get that information. So anyway, we got one coming up tonight. We're talking about Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. We got one coming up on Thursday talking about Sprint and that Jay-Z deal. You know what I'm saying? Some of you guys are like, hey, I want to let's invest in Sprint. Hey, we're gonna talk about it. And then next week, we got one we're gonna be talking about marijuana. So hey, all I can tell you is, if y'all want to have these conversations, get real deep and start talking about investing, that's where you gotta be. All right, what's up, man? So here's the thing. So good catch there. So here's what we saw with oil. What's happening here is that United States is trying to take over the oil market. So we know that, you know what I'm saying, OPEC, Russia, Iran, they've been running oil, Africa, they've been running oil for the longest. And so the United States has now found this thing called fracking, where they can manipulate the supply of oil. And it's almost to the point where they're thinking that, hey, we can supply our own oil. So this is all about competition to control. Let me repeat that again. It's all about competition to control. That's exactly what's going on with Trump and the administration. And not just the administration, the whole White House, the whole government. It's all about control. If you and I were to do some of the things that we see and have heard them do, we'd be in jail. But they get the liberty because it's all about manipulation. It's all about control of the masses. This is why you got to wake up. You got to start thinking. Stop watching TV at any rate. Or if you're going to watch it, at least interpret it. Don't watch it for entertainment because it's going to lead you astray. All right. So I'm sorry. Let me read these comments real quick. So Bronson said that TPP was an attempt to stonewall China and Russia. New Zealand we signed an FTA with Russia and China, so we're all good. Okay, cool. So believe that Trump will open up a private sector to compensate for the gaps caused by the freeze. That could be true. That's a good observation there. It looks like a great time to invest in oil. Crystal said that there's a bill that was passed by Barack Obama regarding EPA, civil rights, and 2 to 3 other subjects. I'll research and get back to you. Okay, cool. Anthony's going to check out the marijuana, of course. Van said when he gives the order to drill as well as the pipeline, the global worth of oil will tank. Then Trump will really play hardball. Hardball will bring war. Woo! I see us. Hey, I've already said this, but yes, I see there. Whenever Republicans are in office, we go to war. So I do see a war coming down the pipe, and you know, basically withdrawing from these agreements and these pacts. And these agreements that have been made, you saying that, you know, from an economic standpoint, we are going to war. You know what I'm saying? That may not happen physically just yet, but it's going to come to a point where we want something that they have, and they're not going to be willing to give it up because we don't have an agreement. And the United States is going to be like, well, we're going to come get it. That's exactly what they do. That's exactly what we do. Let's keep it real. When we want something, you either going to give it to us or we're going to come take it. So, you know, hey, let me get back to the news here, man. You guys gonna get me going. I told y'all I'm trying to be Mr. Finance today, but y'all trying to move me over to that other side. Y'all trying to move me to that other side. All right, the election. The White House says Trump stands by his belief that millions of people voted illegally in the presidential election, but offered no evidence to support the contention. And then also, it says here that Trump first made the false claim during the transition. He reiterated the statement in a meeting Monday night with lawmakers blaming illegal ballots for his loss of the popular vote. Trump has no chill, man. You already the president, man. Why are we still talking about this? But clearly, I think he was agitated from this march that happened where he said that, hey, you guys marching, but why y'all didn't march to the polls and vote? And so here's the deal. We know that Trump is a narcissist, man. He hates to lose. So him losing the popular vote really agitates him. Because Because he don't like to lose at nothing. And he's a fierce competitor. That's why he's on the Twitter and doing all that stuff. This dude is all about win, win, win. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. He take that to heart. Man, for real. Hey, Trump has no chill, man. Hey, Trump has absolutely no chill. All right, where we at, guys? I'm sorry. I'm trying to get to this stuff, man. So in Congress as well, Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer vows to oppose any infrastructure plan by Trump that would rely on tax credits for developers to rebuild the nation's roads, bridges, airports, and other structures. So infrastructure, construction, manufacturing seem to be good places to go. United States automakers, good place to be. Adding to your watch list. Agriculture, Mexico, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. So that's what's going on, man. So much. I mean, this dude, it's the second business day, and he is getting to work. He got a work ethic like no other president I've ever seen. I'm not saying whether it's effective or not, but hey, he got some hustle about him. He got some hustle about him, man. You see all these executive orders? You ever seen so many executive orders just like that? Oh my goodness. Again, I'm laughing, but I'm crying. Woo, what we gonna get ourselves into, America? What have we got ourselves into? Well, we decided we wasn't going to. Now, here's the deal, man. Like, it wasn't like Hillary was going to be any better, guys. Like, let's keep it real. Like, I know we don't like Trump, but the alternative was not going to be any better. So what I'm trying to do is interpret this news, decide where we need to go with our money so we can make our money, we can build our capital up, and we can use our capital collectively to fight the powers. That's the only way we're going to do it. No more marching. Nope. I'm marching with my money. I'm crying. I'm marching with my money. And I'm trying to say, hey, man, let's connect. Let's get together. Let's get this money together. Let's build this thing up so that we can actually have a voice with our dollars. We can elect who we want to elect. You know what I'm saying? We can put them in power that's going to really speak on our behalf. And if they don't, we get them fired with our dollars. This is what happens. We need to get these local politicians out that's been sitting in their offices for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people don't never leave. These people get paid for life, and we sitting here struggling 40 hours a day, 40 hours a week, trying to make ends meet. They getting paid to they do a bad job, get fired, and get paid for the rest of their life. You see what kind of system we in? Hey, I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And when I get to the point where I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, I go do something. And what I'm saying is, what I'm doing is all about economics. What I'm doing is all about learning this politics. What I'm doing is trying to put the right people in position so that we can all win. That's all I got to say. So I'm trying to share some of these tips, these ideas, have these conversations with you guys so that we can see collectively, right? I can think and I can see with my 4 eyes I got, right? But if I can get you and you and you and you and you and you to start using your eyes, start using your brains, and bring that knowledge together to the village, man, that's power. Knowledge is the new currency, but many of us ain't waking up. We just going through the day-to-day, the mundane stuff. We ain't even talking about this stuff. But this is the stuff that's going to impact us directly and indirectly, monetarily, the way in which we live, all of this stuff, man. All of this stuff that's happening, man, here's the deal. All of this stuff that's happening is nothing more than a tax on the poor. That's what's happening. It's all about, it's not going to affect the multimillionaires, the billionaires that's running the country. It's going to affect us. It's a tax on the poor. It's called a poor tax. Look it up. You'll start to understand why it costs more to be poor. It costs more. Your credit score bad, it's going to cost you more. You know what I'm saying? Then you can't get a bank account. You got to go cash checks. It costs you more. It's a poor tax. That's what's happening. Hopefully you understand that. Woo! What a day. Trumponomics. News that you can use. So hopefully we gave you some insights, some things for you to think about, some places where you can start to look again and add some stuff to your watch list. Because here's the deal, man. We're going to continue to have these investment sessions. We're going to continue to find ways to make our money work for us. We're going to continue to find ways to build because it takes a village. But it starts with us. I ain't pointing no more fingers, man. I'm getting it done. And hopefully you are too. Hey, this is ERGJ from ERGJ Enterprise, New Black Wall Street, news that you can use. Let's build.
Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We'll see you all there in the next episode of The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street.